Yeah. So, yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session. So, I just want to today we are going to discuss about three command line utilities in Linux, which are wget, curl, and jq. So, I will just give a quick intro about wget and curl and jq as well, and later we will go to command line and I will explain you. Using different options we have in different in different utilities. So coming to wget, wget is a utility. We use it mostly to download files in a non-interactive way. So let's say in real time when we are working real time, there might be we might come across situations where we need to download different tar files. We need to extract packages for installation purposes. In that scenarios, we will heavily use wget, whether it's in the script or manually. Uh, we will use wget. So it's mostly used for downloading very large files. So it kind of supports but the limitation with wget is like it only supports only few protocols, HTTP, HTTPS, and FTP. Only few protocols. And coming to curl uh, curl also does similar work, but curl has much more features, and it's extensively used to interact with servers to to servers. We can do all the REST API verifications, testing. We can post data. We can get information. We can push the data. So all the operations, let's say get, post, update, delete, uh, all those things we can do it using curl, which we cannot do using wget. So to compare both, wget is, wget is a bit less. Uh, it's much more. It's much more specific. Curl is kind of we can use it for wide range of purposes. Yeah. So these are the protocols which curl supports: HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, FTPS, and LDAP. So all these are different kinds of protocols which we need to follow while interacting with a web server. So the web server needs to support these protocols, and from client side also, it we need our system also need to support these protocols. So curl supports all these protocols. wget only supports few like HTTP, HTTPS, and FTP, I guess. And coming to, so for these reasons, curl, when we want to interact with the API server, when we want to put the data, when we want to update the information, we mostly go with curl. So let me explain you with real examples now.
Can I interrupt you for a second,
Yeah, sure,
Bhargav?
sir.
All right, just to give a context to everyone, right? So wget, as what Bhargav said, right? As a DevOps engineer, it would be important for you to install, like you've already seen, you've installed Git, right? You've installed, let's say, you'll install Java, you'll install Maven, you'll install Jenkins going forward. So you'll have a lot of installation that you have to do. And you want to download some tar file, and then you have to extract that tar file. Uh, that's where wget would be important. So to download something from a remote location, if you do not know all the other jargons that he used, like protocols and all that, it's completely fine. What you need to know is there is somebody who's hosting important artifacts in a remote location, and you want to download it. You'll use wget. You can use curl for a similar use case if you want to, but primarily curl command is used for testing REST services. Assuming you do not know what REST services are nothing but services that let you talk to them using JSON. JSON, if you have to ask me now, we can get into the rabbit hole if we keep going backward, right? I'm assuming you know what a JSON notation is, JavaScript notation is. JavaScript notation is very simple notation which tells a machine how to talk to you. Okay, so the way we are using English as a language right now over here, JSON is a language, SOAP is a language. Uh, there are several more protocols that you could use to talk to a machine. Okay, so the curl command, when you talk about REST services, I want to add a little context over here, because when Bhargav goes deep in and starts showing you stuff, right? And if you do not know the context, accepting everything what he's showing would be very difficult for people who do not know the context. Everybody else who knows the context, it will be very easy. Okay, it will be like a no-brainer. I know this. So REST services primarily allows you a couple of methods. The important methods are get, put, post, delete, and also patch sometimes. Okay, so get, put, post, delete, and patch sometimes. So get basically is when you want to get information. For example, you want to get account details, or you want to get the list of cars. It's only a get call, right? You're only asking for information. That's where the get method is. Okay, it all goes over HTTP or HTTPS most of the time. Okay, that's what the protocol is. We've not talked about HTTP and HTTPS in the past. Eventually, as you keep hearing these terms, as you move on, as you read, you're going to come across these terms that we've not talked about, we've not heard. Those are the important terms that you have to get in and go deeper if you wanted to go to. Okay, but right now it's not time for you to know all that. Okay, post basically is when you want to write something on the server. You want to say, hey, I want to withdraw money from my account. It's a right, because from somewhere you have to debit and somewhere you have to credit. Okay, that's post. If you want to post, basically they use when they want to create a information for the first time. Put is used when you want to update information. Delete is used when you want to delete some information on the remote server. Okay, so I hope you have enough context now, and we can jump into the demo that Bhargav is showing. Bhargav, you can go ahead. I'll mute for now. Bhargav, you're on mute.
Yeah. Yeah. You can hear me right now, sir. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello.
we can.
Yeah. So, so to add what Sar said, so wget is basically used to download files. So if you see here, I want to download this zip file, which is a WordPress website. Uh, I can use this zip file. It has all the details which are required to host a website. So we can use this to basically download a file. Download this latest.zip file where this output, where this field O means I want to save. I want to save the contents with in a new file with name wp.zip. Yeah, if you see here, so all the contents that are there. Yeah, all the contents that are there. Those are now present in wp.zip file. Let me remove that field and let me give you. Yeah, if you see here, now it's downloaded into dummy.zip. Dummy.zip. If you see here, both the size is the same. So there are many features to this. Many more options with this utility, where we can mention the path to which we want to download the file, and the output file name which we want to use. So here I have given the path, and let's say if I am executing this in a different location, I can just give the path and I can give the file name, where it will be automatically downloaded into this particular file name. And one more important feature I want to talk about is, like, we have an option to resume and pause and resume the download. Let's say if we have some large file, like this ISO image, if it is downloaded 50% and for some reason we lost our connection, if uh, the web server supports that functionality, we can resume the download from where it has stopped. So let me give you a demo for this.
Bhargav, question. You said web server supports. What do you mean by web server supports? You're running
Uh,
this from your machine, right? What
yes,
do you
sir.
mean web
Uh,
server? Are
so
you
what
saying?
I'm
Mhm.
Yeah, what I mean is, sir, here we have like this server repo dot alminal almal
Oh,
linux.
the remote server, you mean?
Yeah, the remote
Okay.
web server. Yeah,
Okay.
the remote server. If it supports this functionality, then we can resume the download. It is not possible for it is not supported by all the remote servers. Right? So here option C stands for continue. Okay. So previously when I did this, I stopped it at 13%. Now if you see here, it has started from 13. It is not started from like the beginning. Now let me interrupt it, and if I give it again, it's starting now again from 40. So in this way, if we are downloading very large files, then we can use this option to pause and resume the downloads. And we have an option to do the same thing in background as well, where if we give option -b, the whole process runs in background, and it has a process ID. If we want to stop, I mean, if it is running in background and if we want to stop the process, kill we have to stop the process using kill command. So those are the options. So these options, so these are basically how to get the. We need to first get the process ID, and then like see we have a process ID here. If I give kill command, kill 5467, I think such process. Okay.
Possibly the download is completed,
Yeah, maybe.
Bhargav.
Yeah, yeah. So if it is running, then if we give kill and that process ID, it will be stopped. So that's how we can use this utility called wget.
The PS command that he's using is to show all the processes that are running on your system. Okay, so it's almost similar to when you do Control Shift Escape on Windows, and it shows you all the processes that are running on Windows. Similarly, if you want to see all the processes that are running on Linux, you can do a PS minus AUX. Uh, and then what he's doing is he's doing a grep. Grep, I think one of us I think Sai or Rotik is supposed to be talking about grep, so I will not talk more about it right now. It basically allows you to search in the output that is produced by PS minus or PS AUX. All right, move ahead, Bhargav.
Yeah. So now coming to curl. So curl is let me know. Curl is extensively used for interacting with web servers which operate on REST protocols. So what does that mean? Let's say if I want to interact with this web server, it's not like every time we want to download a file. Sometimes we want to provide the information. Let's say I'm filling a form. I will give the information. So I will give the information. Sometimes I want to delete some information. Let's say if I'm going to if I'm using some social media post, I want to delete some post. So there are different scenarios which we interact with web server differently. Sometimes we will update our information. Sometimes we delete our information. Sometimes we query for a particular. Let's say in this case, uh, this is a simple web server which acts like which acts like a which at the end which acts like a simple database where we can query it for employees. If I gave this, it will give us all information about all the employees present. Or if I give an ID at the end, it will give me only the information about that particular employee with ID one. So previously, what SAR is mentioning, so we can use curl to interact extensively uh, for REST services. So if you see here, by default, when we give curl command, uh, it it assumes it is a REST call. It is a GET call. So GET means what? We are just simply requesting the web server to provide some information. That is called GET. So if you see here, here I have here I have given GET, but here I have not given GET. But this is also running as a GET call only, because here I am requesting for all the employees information. So let me just note.
Bhargav, can I stop you for a second?
Yes, sir.
Are you experiencing what I usually experience? Without taking feedback from someone, it becomes so difficult to know whether the person is understanding or not.
Yeah, kind of.
You understand, right? The experience that I go through when I tell you guys, you have to interact and tell me whether you understand, because otherwise you don't know. You don't know whether the rest that you're talking about, people know it or not. You don't know the get that you're talking about, people know it or not. So it always helps in a mentoring session like this to be interactive. And that's the whole purpose of me asking you to give this session, is because then you would appreciate the fact when I'm giving a session, if I just keep talking, right, it becomes very hard for me to know whether you're understanding or not, because without I know you understand the fundamentals, I cannot move to the next topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so try and see if you can interact with these guys now. So
Okay.
whatever you are telling, right, see whether they really understand. Because if they do not understand, no matter how much advanced stuff you show them, they will just not understand the next thing in the pipeline.
Yes, yes, yes. True, sir. So, just to let you know, so far, like, is it everything clear about what I said, like curl and wget previously? Or if you have any questions, please let me know, like,
Yeah,
regarding
actually, it was clear.
it was clear. So, whatever I said about REST protocols like GET and like different use cases of curl, like GET, POST, and update. So I have not shown, but previously Sar has explained, right? Different use cases where we used get to get the information, where we use post to update some information, delete to obviously to delete. So is that part clear, or you want me to go through that again?
Yeah, that was
I
clear actually.
I have a question for on wget. I mean, it's for the question is for everyone, not for the person who is presenting. So wget, right? What would be the practical use of that in with respect to DevOps? I mean, honestly speaking, Samir, I have not used wget yet, but
Yeah, I have
I've used
used it.
curl.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
used it extensively, wget.
Okay.
So wget would be like when I want to install. So say for example, uh, you want to install Maven on your machine.
Okay.
What do we usually do? We go to the Maven site, we
Yeah.
go to the specific download URL link, and then we download it, right?
Download it. Yeah. Yeah.
After we download it, we right click on it and we extract it, the zip file, especially when
Correct.
you're doing on Windows, right? And
Right.
it's not
Right.
only about Maven, it's anything that you want to install, right?
Right.
And after that, you put it into some executable place. For example, you might like to put it up into installable or installation or whatever, just as
Hmm.
a reminder, right?
Right.
Everything Maven goes there. So what you're doing is you're doing all of this manually. Now, when you want to
Okay.
automate this as part of a script, you have not seen
Hmm.
our shell scripting sessions earlier on, Seth. If you can watch it, it'll be great. So now let's say in shell script, you want to write commands to go download something from Maven site. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
after you've downloaded it, you want to untar it,
Right.
okay, or extract it. You're going to use
Yeah.
a tar command. So to
Right.
download, you'll use the wget command. And while that's what he was showing, right? When you use
Hmm.
wget command, you have an option to tell where to download. You can either download where the command is being run from
Right.
there, wherever it is run from, or you can say download it into user bin folder, let's say.
Sure.
And
Okay.
then you can tell it, download it with this name. And then it
Yeah.
also has an option to say extract it.
Okay.
Wget comes with a lot of options. If you don't use that, you can even use the tar command to extract it. That's the whole use case. So
Okay.
in DevOps, there are a lot of installation that you want to do, right? And you don't want to do it manually. You want to do it automatically. That's where
Okay.
wget will be used.
Yeah.
And as I
Yeah.
said, right, even curl can be used for that same purpose. But wget is made for that. You want to download something, wget is made for that. One of the options that he showed was you can continue from where you left. Curl possibly doesn't give you that option.
Okay.
I hope it
And
makes sense, F.
yeah, yeah, it does. And then curl thing, right? Recently, I just want to share my experience a little bit. What I have done,
Sure.
was I used it for health checks in a cluster. I mean, within a cluster between two pods, just to see is the pod running or not up. And I have used that
Yes.
one recently.
Lovely.
So yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, Saif has worked with me in the past. Okay, just so that you guys know, he carries a lot of experience on the UI side. He does UI development today. He works for a company. I don't want to tell the name of the company, but everybody should guess it. I was working in that same company, so try and retrofit where he must be working. Um, and he's extremely good in UI and .NET programming too. So with time, he wants to learn about DevOps, and with time, he'll be able to teach you guys also about, how's everything going. And eventually, I've told you I might be getting some more guest speakers who would want to come and talk about their own experiences. So this way, you get to see before you get into the real world of working, you get to meet and greet people who are already working in those industries. Okay. Anyway, Bhargav, go forward. You just have a little more time before we give it to somebody else.
Yeah, sure, sir. So yeah, actually at the end I have a small shell script planned as well to show.
Sure.
Yeah. So like this, if I give this rest command, see, it's just made a get call, and it is giving me all the information about all the employees details. I'm sure we have not come across JQ, but just to format it, I'm using JQ now. Okay. So if you see here, uh, this returns information about all the employees details information like their age, each employee name, age, image, ID, and their salary. And if I want to get information about only one particular employee, I will use this. If you see here, I'm using option -x and I'm giving the method, the get method. And see now it returned only information about employee with ID 1. So here I've passed ID 1. So now it has written only information about employee with only ID 1. So this is a simple get request to get only one single employee details. Similarly, there might be a situation where we want to uh, add new employee. Let's say in that case, we will make a post call. We are just posting some information to the server. So in that case, we need to follow this particular format where -d option we will use. It stands for data. So and this in this case, like we are posting data in a JSON format. So this is simple JSON format.
Okay, hold on there for a second. Go back.
Here, sir.
Yeah. So there are critical pieces. Okay. First is curl is the command. Okay, and the URL that you need to pass is where you have to get where you want to execute this curl command. That's what it means. Okay. In simple form, that's what curl is. By default, it's -x get. So if you want to add -x get or you don't want to get -x get, it's the same behavior. But if you need some other method, then you can use -x post, -x delete. As long as that REST service supports that method, you can use it. So don't assume that I can just call any endpoint and put -x post, -x delete, or -x post. Not necessary. Okay. So say, for example, if I'm building a software, I can say, hey, you know what, at this particular endpoint, I'm supporting these specific methods. Okay, so for now, if you do not follow everything, it's fine. We will extensively look at it when we come to GitHub REST services for automation. Okay, so we'll look at it. But over here, what I want you to pay attention to is -d is for data. So what you're saying is call that particular URL, and it's a post call because I have -x post. It has a header. The header is content type application JSON. Okay, -h is for header, and -d is for data. So the data is name, test, salary 123, and age 23. That's how you read it. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Bhargav.
Yeah. if you see here, it has successfully updated this information. Uh, and that's for post. And don't think we have put. So sometimes we want to update the existing information. So the difference between post and put is like, post is for like creating new information, and put is for updating existing information. Uh, so here, if you see, I am updating details of an employee with employee ID 24. If you see here, 24 at the end, there is 24. But in case of post, URL wise, like, the data representation, the minus D option what we are giving here, for post and for put, both look very similar, but the difference is like here we are updating information for a particular employee with a particular ID. In case of post, we are not giving any ID at the end. We are just saying create, but here we are saying update, and we are also giving an ID. ID of an employee which we are updating.
Okay, just to give you a context about this, right? In your mind, think of it as you're coming to a blank system, okay? The system doesn't have any information at the moment. You're saying, create a user for me, okay? So that is basically create, right? Create a user. When it creates the user, the system is supposed to give you an ID. It'll say, okay, I have created the user, the ID is 1. The next time when you want to change something for that user, you'll have to use that ID 1. That's what the ID he's talking about where he's showing you 24. Okay. So you use that ID and you say, hey, you know what? For this particular ID, I want to change some details. I want to change the name, or I want to change the salary, or I want to change the age, whatever that service supports. That's what put is. The first one was post. And now if you want to, let's say, get information about, just in general, right? Get information about everyone. So at that time, you just put a REST call just to a specific URL. You'll not put an ID next to it. As soon as you put an ID next to it, that means you're saying, get me information, but don't give me everything. Give me information only for that particular ID. That's where the example is showing. Okay. And then the last one is delete. Again, when you think of delete, think of it this way. You're not just going to use the delete and give a unknown URL, right? You're going to say, I want to delete this particular user. You'll give an ID and say, hey, I want to delete this user. If the API supports to delete everything, it could give you an endpoint that says without ID, you can accept it, and it'll go and delete everything. Normally, nobody does that. They always say delete by ID. I hope the picture is clear. As in every learning that you do, right, it's always great to create a picture, paint it. So you put a box, you put a circle, you put something, and then you start painting it. As long as you know what that whole box and circles are and how they connect together, that's how the learning happens. Okay. So if you do not understand any of this, what he's saying, please feel free to ask. There's no shame. Everybody is fresh over here, right? Just out of oven. If you assume that, oh, maybe Rutvik knows it, or Imran knows it, or Samir knows it, then you're going to lose. You're the loser. It's always great practice to ask. If you're not able to paint a picture completely, you don't know anything, then separately come and say, hey, you know what? I didn't understand a word out of this. I need some help. All right, move ahead, Bhargav. Bhargav, come to JQ if you can, real quick. If you're talking, we can't hear you. Bhargav, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, sir. So if you see here, I have a JSON file, but it's not properly formatted. The employee information is not properly formatted. So if I want to query it, if I want to filter some of the results uh, based on, let's say, I want to know employee who, get the list of employees whose salary is more than 50,000, or I want to know get the information about all the employees whose age is greater than 50. So all these things, when we want to filter JSON data, JQ utility helps us. Let me give an example. So if we see here, now if you see output is properly formatted, and if you see the structure of the data, uh, so initially the JSON format will be key value pairs, and here the data key which we have, it's pointing towards an array. So here what we are saying is basically uh, I want all the information. Let's, if I give here data, it will only give me a field pointing to data, or so that's how we interact. And I mean, it's much more advanced. I will show you that options as well. If I give you a message, it's only showing the value related to message. So this is how we kind of can filter out. I mean, it's not. We can do much more than that. I know here, the data is pointing towards an array. I want to get elements from, like, 1 to 4. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, uh, the indexing in here works similarly. Similarly, how it works in Python, like, indexing starts with 0, and it it goes towards, like, 0, 1, 2, and it does not include the last element. So here, 1 means, like, in this case, if I give here 0, uh, first element starts with this is 0th element, first element, second element, and third element, and by default last element is not included. And for one element, if I want to include employee name, see, if I want to get the information about uh, first employee name, uh, so in this way we can get, so in this way we can filter out, and we can get specific information what we need. And there is an option as well, like, it we can do much more. We can also construct, construct, sample JSON file by filtering out this particular JSON we have. Let's say in this JSON file, I have information about employee name, employee salary, employee age, and employee age as well. But I want a payload. I want a JSON file which has information about only employee name and employee salary. I can do that using JQ. Uh, how we can do that is, so for that, there is a concept called as, constructors in JQ. If we see here, see, now if you see the response, I have only employee name and employee age. So let's explore this command. So JQ-R, uh, the -R command, it's basically used to remove the quotes. So if we give it without R, the response, let's say, if it is returning a name, like, this particular name, it will return with quotes. If I give R, it will remove the quotes, and it will return. So how am I accessing? So I want a list. I want an array. Array is a list of dictionaries. And the key is employee name. And in employee name, the value is this structure. It refers to our original employee.json format. Data, in the data, the list of data, and here employee name. and for employee age, data and employee age. So in this way, if we can filter out the original JSON file, and we can only shorten it out, and we can you know only get the specific information which we need by eliminating the unnecessary information. That's one use case. And there are also functions as well. There are like functions as well, where we can get the name, length, and we can also get the keys. Let's say for some reason, if I want to get only keys of this dictionary, employee age, employee name. So in this way, we can get the keys. So there are some predefined functions for it. Let's length is one function. Let's say if I want to so the number of I have a total of 24 employees. How I got this? I have just given dot data, and I'm passing this information to the next stage. I'm giving it as input to the length function. So this is uh, a default function in JQ utility, length. So like that, there are different predefined functions as well, and we can also filter out data in JQ. Let me give you an example. If I want to get information about employees whose age is equal to 40, see this employee age is equal to 40. So in this way, we can filter out the information, and we can get the specific information what we need. So yeah, so here we are using a function called select. Here basically what I am saying, in the list of in the array of data, I want only employees whose age is equal to 40. And like we can use like uh, we can place multiple conditions, just like how we have it in SQL. We can use all those scenarios here. So here I am saying employee salary must be greater than 3,000. So and age is greater than 40. So it's giving me the list of all the employees whose age is greater than 40, and employees salary is greater than 3,000.
All right. So just to put again this in the context, right? You might be, I hope not everybody is lost, but if you're lost, it's okay. But there are some really powerful commands that Bhargav is trying to demonstrate over here. Okay. But as usual, as I always tell you guys, right? It's very important that you understand the fundamental. What? Okay. Every single time, what is very important. So what exactly are you trying to do over here? You're trying to play with a JSON output. Whatever you're seeing over here with curly braces and a key and an ID. Okay. If I had to start this, right? If I had to, very good job, Bhargav. Okay. What you've done is extremely good job, but I'm just trying to give you some feedback. Okay. And this feedback is not just for Bhargav, it's for everybody else who's going to come in and try to demonstrate your skills, because I want your skills to be built as you grow. Okay. If I had to start with this session, right, how I would have started is I would have given you a context of what a JSON looks like. I would have talked about what a dictionary is. Okay. I would have talked about what a list is, especially when it comes to JSON. Okay. I would have shown you, because then when I start talking about, hey, I have a list of dictionaries, I would not have to come and explain to you what a list is and what a dictionary is. I'm assuming you guys know it. All of you know it. Great. Okay. But even if one person doesn't know it, it's very difficult for you to digest this whole fact. Okay. What you're seeing on that screen, blue and a green color and a white color in curly braces, that's a JSON string. Okay. In plain form, a JSON string has a key and a value. So you see ID 19, employee name, Bradley Greer, so on and so forth. That's a key value pair. Okay. That key value pair, key can remain as simple as that, but the value can be list, and list is always inside square brackets. The value can also be in dictionary format. That means you can have curly braces and you can have key value pair again inside it. Okay. So now with JQ, what you're doing is you're getting power. People who have programmed it will really appreciate the power of JQ, because I have personally done a lot of automation using JQ. JQ is giving you the power to talk. Curl is giving you the power to talk to REST services. Curl doesn't give you anything more than that. They give you they dump something, some information to you, curl will dump that information back to you. Now, from that information, you want to find certain elements and reconstruct a new JSON, let's say. That's where JQ will add a huge value. And what he's showing over here is he's showing you how you can get the data. And now once you've understood the format of the data, you want to exactly extract and from a haystack, pick up that needle. That's what JQ is allowing you to do. Using that select dot employee age greater than whatever 40 and employee salary is greater than 30,000, right? You're picking up the needle from a haystack. So what I'm trying to tell you over here is I'm not teaching you JQ, I'm not teaching you curl. What I'm telling you is identify what the what is first and then go figure it out how. Okay. Every time I'm telling you how to learn, okay, that's the whole thing that I'm trying to tell you guys. When you learn something, learn from that particular prospect of what it is that you're learning and how you're going to figure things out. Any questions, guys? I mean, everybody understands what I'm saying, or am I making it more complicated?
No, sir, it's good.
Okay, good. All right. I think Bhargav, I think we already going to be over time. Who will need just 7 minutes to present? Is it Rutvik or Sai?
Mine is a smaller one, I guess.
Okay, Rutvik, then Bhargav, can we give him to present for 7 minutes?
Yeah, sure, sir. Just one more utility. So this is kind of other function, sort function, where I want to sort the information based on employee salary. So just this is again by default predefined function. Okay. Okay. Just a second. This is the last thing that's left. So I just
Sure.
want to provide. So it's giving me employee names
Sorted by employee
sorted based
salary.
on employee salary. So in this way, I mean, we can pass any key and we can get the sorted information, and we can also get it in a reverse order. In JQ, we can also define custom functions, but I have not explored it that much to present you. Yeah.
Good
So
job,
I think,
Bhargav.
yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions.
It takes a lot of courage to come on for the first time and then give this kind of a session. Okay, so really good job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I have one more shell script as well.
Sure.
Uh,
Go ahead and finish yours because we can continue for some more time if need be.
Yeah, sure. So then I guess that's good. So using these three utilities, I have developed a basic shell script. Let me show you.
Yeah. Before you go there, Saif, did you have a question?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah. So if you see here, I have written a basic shell script which queries weather API. So we all get weather. I mean, we all get weather data. So how applications are basically developed is like there will be a centralized weather server which is monitored by government or some private entity. All the applications will query that web server for the information, and it will get the information, and it will present us in different ways. So this is the basic shell script that I have developed. So what it basically does is it asks user for, once we run the shell script, it asks user for a city ID. If the city ID is valid, then it goes and queries the weather API. Hey, give me this weather information about this particular city. And once it gives the response in a JSON format, and we filter that response out, and we present what is needed to the user. If so by developing this shell script, uh, you know there are multiple things involved. First, we need to validate whether the city ID which user is giving is valid or not. To validate that, uh, uh, what I have done, so I have gone to the API server's website, and I have uh, uh, get a file where it has information about all the valid city IDs, and it is stored in a CSV format. So I am using awk commands to verify whether the city ID is present in this, whether the city ID which user has given is present in this particular file or not. If it is present, then it's a valid city ID. If it is not, then it's different. So here, if you see, if it is a valid city ID, then it will give some response. While displaying the information, I am using JQ to filter out my response, and to give user only what is needed. Let's say if data is the response which API server gives me, I'm using it to filter out and give only user about, just city name, what is the temperature, and what's at what time does the sun rise there. I know, but the response is kind of huge, but I'm filtering out using JQ. So in this way, I have used JQ here. And if you see here, uh, while making an API call, I have used curl commands. So curl commands. And one more thing, one more utility we missed, that's wget. So if you see here, cities all.csv. This file, what happens, sometimes, let's say if they have added new city, uh, that needs to be updated in this file. So every time, instead of manually updating it, what I have done is, there is a option in, there is one more utility in Linux called as cron job. So what we can do is we can run a task systematically. It will run a command uh, in a given time interval. Let me show you.
Cron, Bhargav, CRON, cron.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. If you see here, uh, for at every day morning 2 a.m., what this stars and 2 is saying is basically every day at morning 2 a.m. run this particular command wget. So wget will give us an output. I'm basically downloading and updating this file every single day because sometimes they will add new cities. So I want that information to be up to date. If user queries with new city ID, if it is not in my file, it will throw an error. So I want to prevent that. So I'm updating this file every single day using the corn job. Sorry. So that's how using different utilities we can automate multiple tasks. So just me give you a quick demo, whether it's working or not. Okay. So I have provided a valid city ID. Now it's asking me for an API key. So this API key I got from a website, like, I have registered and I've got an API key. So this you can also get. See, this is how it's giving the information. The city name, what I have provided here, it's validating with this particular file, and since it's valid, it's getting the information and it's presenting me. So that's how we can combine using different utilities, and we can automate things in a real-time scenario.
Good job,
Thank you very
Bhargav.
much.
Yeah, I think this was really good. Using different commands, awk, curl, get, wget, right, and coming up with a real good use case.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right.
If you have any questions,
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and ask questions to Bhargav if you guys have anything. No questions?
no questions.
I'm good, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot. I will share all this information with you.
Sure. All right, guys. So what should we do? Should we continue this on Saturday, or do you guys want to present what you have to present?
Your wish. You're okay with anything.
Okay, let's go ahead and present it if it's going to be real quick. I just didn't want to make this recording more than 1 hour. The reason is next time when you watch it, right, you yourself might get bored. We can, I mean, if it's going to be quick, we can otherwise do it on Saturday. Not a problem. Okay, so let me stop recording.